Hello. The law of cosines is used in trigonometry to solve oblique triangles, and it is applied in two specific cases. The first case is a side-angle-side triangle, and the second a side-side-side triangle. So in the first case, we are given two sides and the included angle, and in the second case, we are given all three sides. In this video, we will see how to use the law of cosines to solve a side-side-side triangle. So if we have a triangle where all three sides are known and we have to find the missing angles, then we need to use the following steps. In step 1, use the law of cosines to find the angle opposite the longest side. So if in this triangle, let's say side C is the longest, then first we will use the law of cosines to find angle C, because this is the angle opposite the longest side. This angle could potentially be an obtuse angle. In the following example, I will explain why it is necessary to identify the longest side first when using the law of cosines. Now, in step 2, find either one of the acute angles using the law of sines. So if in step 1, let's say we found angle C, now in step 2, we will use the law of sines to find either angle A or angle B. Another alternative for step 2 is to use the law of cosines, and we will discuss more about this in the following example. And now in step 3, we find the third angle by subtracting the other two angles from 180 degrees. In this example, we have a triangle with side A of 8.6 units, side B of 11.5 units, and side C of 7.9 units. We need to find angles A, B, and C. So because we are given all three sides, this is a side-side-side triangle, and this means that in the first step, we will use the law of cosines to find the angle opposite the longest side. From the figure, we see that side B is the longest side. Therefore, first we will find angle B. The law of cosines that uses angle B is b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine of angle B. If we solve this formula for angle B, then we get B equals inverse cosine of a squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. Then if we replace, we will get B equals inverse cosine of 8.6 squared plus 7.9 squared minus 11.5 squared over 2 times 8.6 times 7.9. Now, depending on the calculator model you're using, you might need extra parentheses around the numerator and around the denominator. Also make sure that the calculator is in degree mode, then B will be approximately 88.26 degrees. So we found angle B, and it is 88.26 degrees. Now, before moving to the next step, let's discuss why in step 1 we need to find the angle opposite the longest side. First of all, the angle opposite the longest side is going to be the largest angle in the triangle. And because of this, it could potentially be an obtuse angle. But then, why do we want to use the law of cosines to find this angle first? This has to do with the range restriction of the inverse cosine and sine functions. When using the calculator to find an angle using the inverse sine function, the result will always be an angle from negative 90 degrees to positive 90 degrees. This means that with the inverse sine functions, obtuse angles will not be directly displayed by the calculator. However, when using a calculator to find an angle using the inverse cosine function, the result will always be an angle from 0 to 180 degrees. And this means that obtuse angles will be displayed by the calculator. That's why in step 1 we want to find the largest angle, because if this angle happens to be an obtuse angle, it will be directly displayed by the calculator. And in case if you wonder, what if we know for sure that a triangle is not gonna have any obtuse angles? Then in that case, we still start with the law of cosines, but it doesn't matter what angle we find first. Now let's move to step 2. In this step, we find either one of the other acute angles using the law of sines. For example, we can find angle A. And for this, one ratio that we will use will be side A over sine of angle A. And because we know side B and angle B, another ratio will be B over sine of angle B. If we replace, we will have 8.6 over sine of angle A equals 11.5 over sine of 88.26 degrees. Then if we use cross multiplying, we will have 11.5 sine of angle A equals 8.6 sine of 88.26. Then we will divide both sides by 11.5. Then sine of A equals 8.6 sine of 88.26 degrees over 11.5. And now to find angle A, we will use the inverse sign. And again have the calculator in degree mode, then A will be approximately 48.37 degrees. So now we have angle A and it is 48.37 degrees. Another alternative for step 2 is to use the law of cosines. Here is the formula, and one disadvantage is that this formula is a little bit more complex than the law of sines. If we use it, we will have A equals inverse cosine of 11.5 squared plus 7.9 squared minus 8.6 squared over 2 times 11.5 times 7.9. Then A is approximately 48.37 degrees. So we got the same answer, and now let's move to step 3. In this step, we will find angle C by subtracting the other two angles from 180 degrees. Angle C equals 180 degrees minus 88.26 and minus 48.37 degrees. Then angle C is 43.37 degrees. So now we have all the missing angles and the problem is completed. If you liked this video, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.